Hello everyone, it's Phil here. Welcome to another tweak guide. This time we're looking at Star Wars X-Wing from GOG.com, and apparently this game is also on Steam, but I'm not sure if it includes the 1994 CD version. So GOG recently launched Star Wars X-Wing, and it came initially in two versions, the 1993 floppy version and then the 1998 re-release with higher graphics. But the re-release has some issues with the music, and the version that most people really were after is the 1994 version, the CD version, or also called Collector's Edition. So that's what we're going to look at. Now, on my account, because I bought it before they added the 1994 version, it didn't show up. So if you've got that problem, just go to your link here and add the word refresh at the end and press enter. That will refresh your library, and then everything should work fine. Okay, so I've installed the game. We're just going to run it and see what it looks like and how it sounds. So we can see that the image is a bit too small. We've got sound and music going. Let's see if the joystick works. Yep. So I'm using Logitech Extreme 3D Pro. It's quite a popular budget joystick. And we're just gonna see if everything works here. Now the sound and music is definitely Sound Blaster. So the game is configured to play the music through Sound Blaster. We will change that to General MIDI in a short while. Okay, better use my mouse. So I'm just gonna go into the simulator. Alrighty, so let's have a look. Okay, the joystick works fine. Let's see if the throttle does anything. No, it doesn't. Let's see if the head does anything. Okay, also the head doesn't seem to do anything. Alrighty, so we got our work cut out. Let's go back and quit, and let's start tweaking. I made myself a little cheat sheet, so we're gonna start with tweaking the sound. So first of all, there are two steps of improving the sound. The first is to configure the game to use General MIDI instead of Sound Blaster. So you go to Star Wars X-Wing to your folder and run the launch settings menu. That will trigger the installation program that came with the game. And here we are. So also, I highly recommend that you actually read the README file. There's something interesting about some graphics glitches. Here it says the original. It talks about some engine differences, and you might see some streaks across the screen. If that happens, you can either wait it out or press Alt-D to change the details. So quite interesting information here. But we want to go to set soundboard configuration. Then we go with custom, so we press the C key, and then we go into the advanced menu. And here on the left side, at the moment it's for the Sound Blaster. And we're gonna change that to General MIDI port 330. Now I've already got a sound font installed, but I'm gonna cover that in a moment. But just by changing it to General MIDI, you'll have better music straight away. No. And now you've got a choice. Do you want to improve it even further using sound fonts, or are you just happy with General MIDI? So that's your choice. Okay, so now we're gonna tweak the config file, and there's lots of stuff to tweak. So we go into our GOG Games folder, Star Wars, and we're gonna open this one, the config file. And there's lots of things we need to tweak. So first thing, full screen resolution. That's the resolution of your monitor. It's 1920 by 1080 on mine. Window resolution, that's the resolution it'll use if you toggle between full screen and window mode. Hit it with Alt Enter. I'm gonna go with 800 by 600. Output mode, change that to one of the options. Where are they? OpenGL, OpenGL non-bilinear or direct draw. OpenGL gives you a nice consistent look. OpenGL non-bilinear and direct draw give you a sharper look, but you might be able to notice that some pixels are different sizes, and that's especially distracting with text and fonts. So I recommend going with OpenGL. Okay, what else do we need to do? Aspect ratio correction to 2, yeah, true, yep, and scalar, set that to normal 3x. Okay, with the CPU, it's set to cycle speed of max. There are some issues. Some elements in the game stop working when your processor is too fast. So we're gonna set that to fixed and try something like 30,000, for example. That should work fine. But you can experiment that. You can also, with Control F11 and Control F12, you can change the cycle speed up and down during the game and tweak your speed. We're gonna improve the sample rate for the Sound Blaster, for the mixer and the Sound Blaster to 48,000. There's down here. And now we're gonna talk about the MIDI. So as I said, you have a choice. You can use the Microsoft General MIDI device, which is not too bad. But if you're looking for an even better music experience, I highly recommend you use something called SoundFonts. So the first thing you need to do is install Coolsoft Virtual MIDI Synth, and then you load some SoundFonts. I've got a few on my website, so if you go to my Phil's Computer Lab website under sound cards and then General MIDI and SoundFonts, you've got a few SoundFonts here to download. My preferred one is the one from, it's called Weeds General MIDI 3, and there's also an update now. Under MIDI config, we have to tell DOSBox what MIDI device we're going to use. At the moment, we don't know what it is, so we're just going to run a blank DOSBox session, and we type in mixer/list MIDI, and here we have all the MIDI devices I'm using. So the first one, it's already configured, the first device, the Coolsoft Virtual MIDI Synth, so this will make sure it'll use the sound font. So all I have to do here is put a 0 there. Okay, let's keep on. And then we're going to tweak the joystick. The first one is the joystick type. If you leave that to auto, I found that you can't get the head going. So we're going to change that to the Thrustmaster FCS, and also change timed to false. On some people that can cause issues. It worked for me fine with true, but just set it to false. You shouldn't have any problems. And that's really it. So, okay, we're gonna run the game, and then I'm gonna show you also how to use the key mapper and configure your joystick a little bit better. So let's cross that off and let's run the game. Might as well add myself here. Okay, so pictures full screen. We got the correct aspect ratio. So let's just gonna show you how to tweak the joystick and the key mapper, because this game has a ton of controls and you might want to map some buttons to your joystick. Alrighty, so joystick is working fine. I can shoot, that's no problem. But the throttle and also the head doesn't work. So I'm going to show you how to change that. By pressing Control F1, you get the DOSBox key mapper, yep. And here lots of things you can do. So what we want to do is configure the head. So the number 8 key, we want to push the head forward for this one. So we click on Add and then just push the head forward on your joystick. Do the same with 2, push it back with 6, push it to the right with 4, push it to the left, add, and that should be it. Make sure you hit the save button, otherwise it won't remember it. And if I use my head now, I can look forward, back, left, and to the right. For some reason, I haven't figured out how to do diagonal, like how do you look left, right, or front, right. So if you know how to do that, please let me know. Another thing we can do, the game doesn't have a proper support for the throttle, but you can kind of get it going. So what you do is on your joystick, set the throttle to halfway, 50%. Then we're gonna press on the plus key and go add, and then push your throttle forward. Set it back to halfway, 50%. Click on the minus button, click add, and push your throttle back. And by doing it that way, you can kind of now with the throttle, by moving it up and down and then going it into the center position, you can control the throttle that way. It's not perfect. It's not like an analog control, but it's better than nothing. And what else can we do? We can add all the other buttons. For example, if you want to have the shield button mapped to one of the joystick buttons, we just go add, press the button on the joystick, save, exit, and now I can toggle my shield functions through here. And that's really it. That's all there is to it. There was quite a few tweaks to be done, but not that difficult. And now the game should feel quite a little bit better with better music. The image is nice and full screen, aspect ratio corrected, and I definitely recommend you get a joystick, either Logitech or Thrustmaster. I have some really good experiences with these two brands. And just spend a bit of time on mapping your buttons and configuring your joystick, and then you should have a really good experience. And that's really it. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, spread the word. Any comments, leave them down below, and that's it. Thanks for watching.